Hey guys, it's Roger with Roger's Reviews, and today we're going to be talking about knockoff chainsaws and repairs. I know you can get a pretty good value as you've seen over the last few videos. I've been buying knockoff chainsaws. They're very inexpensive, but the problem is when they break down, sometimes it's hard to find the parts, and then of course nobody wants to work on them. So if you're a handy guy and you're resourceful, I think that's probably the best way to go is the knockoff saws. But if you don't like working on things, you don't like looking for parts, and you're not like a hands-on guy, or if you just want to buy them like disposable, use them until they break and then throw them away and buy another one or whatever, or keep them for parts. Maybe that's the way you want to go as well. But so far so good until it seemed like all my saws started breaking at one time. So I've been in the process of finding and ordering parts and repairing saws. So I just got a package in the mail yesterday. I just had a chance to get some parts in the mail. So sometimes you just have to order the parts to the original saw it was meant to clone. So sometimes it can be frustrating trying to find the right part. So, and sometimes too, like in this case, I bought the whole kit, so I got a few extra parts that I might need later on. This is the Adefol chainsaw bumper spike felling dogs 21-piece kit for Stihl MS660, MS460, MS440, 066, 046, 044 replacement parts with chain. So that was $14.25, and there was some other stuff involved too, but it came to about $15.32 off Amazon. So this is what the package looks like, made in China, of course. And apologize for the volume. I'm going to get another microphone so you guys can hear me a little better. I know the volume kind of sucks. You have to turn it up all the way, so I do apologize for that. Looks like some backyard packing here. It's definitely, I don't think this is factory packaging, but you never know. Looks like there's a Ziploc bag in here. Stuck together from the tape. I don't know if someone's like ordering these parts from China and then just rebagging them themselves, but here's the dogs. I'll turn this down so you guys can see here. Get rid of this packing material. Of course, I try to recycle all my packing material, give it to my local mail services. Here is the little studs to hold your bar and chain on, so that's nice to have an extra set of these. I might want to get some Loctite, and then here's some lock nuts and some torque screws, or I guess to hold your dogs on. That's for these. And then the reason I bought the kit right here is because I keep breaking these. Oops, there's a little grommet there. This is the parts that usually break for me. When you buy brand new saws, Josh figured this out. A lot of times the adjustment mechanisms are not greased, so they're very stubborn. They're very hard to adjust, and especially when the saw gets under tension. These they're pretty fine-tuned, so it's easy to strip this stuff out. It's very delicate, so you want to be careful when you buy a new saw. Always make sure there's grease in the adjustment mechanism. Grease it down as best you can, move it back and forth, make sure everything's running smoothly, so that way when you adjust your chain and your bar tensioner, that you don't bend these or break these parts like I do. So that's just food for thought. I don't know if Stihl makes any better parts than these knockoff. I think the adjustment mechanism, for my guess, in my experience, is a lot smoother. And I think this looks like plastic here. So hopefully, and also too, all these mechanisms are different. So hopefully these are the right parts that I can use on my Stihl knockoff. I have I think it's like a 660 equivalent, and I really like the saw. And I was up in the tree yesterday trying to, it was about 2 weeks ago. I tried to adjust the tension. The chain was getting loose, and I put too much pressure. I think the bar or the chain might have been stretched, and I either adjusted it out of tension, or it was stuck, and I kept trying to adjust it, and I was frustrated. I was up in the tree and trying to get the job done, and I ended up breaking the mechanism to adjust the chain. So hopefully this will fix it, and one of my favorite saws will be back up and running. So I'm going to give these parts to Josh and see if he can fix it. I just don't have the patience for it. I can do it, and then I can't see as well. So these little parts and pieces, I have to have a pair of reading glasses on almost to see them anymore. So I'm going to put everything back in this little kit and take it to the shop tomorrow, and hopefully I bought the right pieces and parts to get our saws running again. This is like the second or third saw we've replaced the mechanisms on. I took one of the actual Stihl 650 Magnum to Zach's saw shop, and they ended up fixing it, but it was a little more expensive to do it that way. But I mean, if you can buy the parts for 15 bucks and or less and fix it yourself within 20 minutes, if you have the time. If you take it to a saw shop, they're going to probably charge you close to 100 bucks, maybe more, to do the same process. So unless you have somebody that can fix them reasonably, it's kind of nice. I used to have a guy that used to fix my saws, an older gentleman, no longer with us, and he was very reasonable. He did it out of his house. So if you can find somebody local that does saw repair, that's probably your best bet. Somebody you can trust, and then you can just drop your saws off and have them repaired. Or if you can do it yourself, if you have some time and you like tinkering around, that's also a good thing, because in the tree business, there's so many tools that you use, and there's so much maintenance. You're either going to have to spend a lot of money or have contacts to keep yourself up and running. Hopefully in the future there will be more electric equipment, and there will be less repairs and less maintenance. But as of now, we're in the transition point, so we're going to have to deal with this stuff for probably the next year or 2 or 3 until everything can catch up to speed, because the few electric saws I have work awesome, but the power just is not there quite yet. They're good for smaller jobs and making a few cuts, but you run through a lot of batteries, and they're not quite there as far as the professional quality. I know I haven't bought a electric saw for about a year or so. a pro saw, so I'm interested in getting the new Husqvarna top handle electric saw. I think that would be interesting. I just want something that I can use for about 20 or 30 minutes without having to replace a battery. So that may be one of my future purchases if I'm still doing tree work. So anyway, this is Roger with Roger's Reviews. If you like this video, crush the like button, and we'll try to get you some repairs videotaped and see how this stuff works out and how long it takes. And maybe Josh can do a video and talk about the replacement on these saws of adjustment screws and why you should grease them and how long it takes, and if there's any frustration in that process. So anyway, thanks a lot, and we'll see you in the next one.